Welcome to this week's pep talk where I'm going really behind the scenes. I don't know. I've just been feeling this call to just share all the things about what we're actually doing. And it's no secret that one of my favorite programs is to teach inside Antisocial School, and it is launching on Monday. So we're sort of doing this live behind the scenes, what's actually happening. And even if you aren't interested in the program, stick with me because I thought it would be helpful to talk about what antisocial really means, because hint, it doesn't mean that you aren't social. What it does mean is that you can actually attract clients without social media. So I could go through on this episode step by step of the strategy of things that you could do, but I love a good case study. So I thought, let's get really real, right? Let's share, as in I'm going to share what we are doing exactly in real time to attract clients, which means we actually pre-sold half of the spots inside Antisocial School before we launched. And I'm going to share with you how we did it and how we're launching the program. And then if you're listening to this live, you could actually go watch the whole thing launch and see behind the scenes how we do it. If you're listening to it and it's not real time, it's still super valuable. So let's dig in. So I think it's really important. And one of the things that I share quite a bit is let's talk about life first. So I did not want to run a business where I had the stress of launching every single month. We have this running joke in our house. It's not actually a joke because I would totally do it. But I was like, well, if this doesn't work out, then I'm just going to go sell pillows at Pottery Barn because I love Pottery Barn. I love pillows. I love decorating. And that would be really fun for me. And so I really want to make sure that I'm not creating a business that's creating more stress, because that is not why I left my corporate job. But also life happens regardless of if you are launching a program or not. So again, real time here. My mom was unexpectedly in the hospital. She lives about 45 minutes away, which is super close. And I'm really grateful that I'm able to help her, but it's still 45 minutes, right? So it's not like I can just walk next door. She also lives by herself. And I typically am the one that is in charge of things. I don't know if that would surprise you or not, but you follow along. My one daughter, Savannah, has a cold. Both girls have, I think the last time we counted, 9 dance performances this month alone. And if you don't know, they do Irish dance, which means there is at least an hour. I don't know, I'm getting better, but there's at least an hour before each performance where I have to figure out how to put on the wigs. And we should do a whole episode on this, but it's not just a little bun wig now. It's the whole thing. And there's 2 of them. So there's a lot going on. We're leaving on our quarterly trip in 10 days. That was also one of my goals of starting this business, that we could travel more. And if I'm being honest, I made notes for this podcast and reading it is making me a little tired and anxious. But I just wanted to share that launching is not the priority right now, right? So my point is that life doesn't stop just because you put a date on the calendar and you're like, yes, I'm going to go for it. It is exciting, but what I really wanted to do was come up with my own strategy so that I could have a life and I could go to dance class and I could help my mom and I could be healthy and feel good and launch a program at the same time, which is hopefully going to be successful. So here's what we have done so far. Again, if you're listening to this in real time, the program launches, Antisocial School officially launches on Monday. And inside this live program, we teach you to build and implement a custom marketing strategy. It's completely custom that fills your audience with aligned clients that doesn't depend on social media. And thanks to our pre-launch strategy, we've already filled half the seats before the doors have opened. And I have not posted on social media about Join Antisocial School. So this has all happened behind the scenes. And so my pre-launch strategy includes relationships, networking, secret menu offers, hand raiser content, all the things that we share on this Friday podcast, which also we teach to customize to you inside Antisocial School. But I really want to break it down today on how this actually happened instead of just sharing the win. I think sharing the win is important because you can see that life is happening, but also we're doing the thing. But let's just talk about how we actually did it. So step 1, and I have shared this before, is we plan quarterly. And I knew this ahead of time because I know that usually when we have any sort of formal launch, it's about a 6-week period. So I knew ahead of time in February and March, We had a 6-week period and our focus was going to be on antisocial school. Now, I share this because we planned it between trips, between my girls' dance classes, between things that we had going on with life. So we bookmarked life first and then planned the launch in between. Our actual pre-launch strategy is 4 weeks where we pretty much plan all the content and all the things that you hear and see externally. And I think this is really important because this is why having a business plan is important and the social is not important. So what this means is that the podcast episodes that you have listened to for the last 4 weeks have been strategically curated appropriately to lean into the content that we teach in Antisocial School. We're not selling, we're teaching, we're providing value. The networking events that I pitched myself to were all about teaching how to ditch the social drama. I have other topics that I teach, but I really wanted to lean into that because I knew if people would listen to me teach and I was able to get them a quick win and they met me and hopefully they liked what I was sharing, then you would go on my email list and you would see all the cool things that we have going on. The podcast interviews that we have done all of Q1 have all been focused on ditching the social drama, and all the emails that we have done for the last 4 weeks have been teaching the art of networking, what you can do when Instagram goes down. You should have a whole toolkit of things if you're on my email list, and it's been completely free. So the fun part is, and I sort of mentioned it above, is before I wrote the notes for this, Instagram actually went down. And I was like, oh my God, the universe is on our side. It's going to be okay, because I could use that opportunity as another case study. I love case studies. I love sharing with you actual things where you can be like, yes, she did that. I can do that too. So we used it as an opportunity to share even more case studies of why you need this framework. So if you're taking notes, that's 4 weeks of prep work before the actual launch. 4 weeks of providing tremendous value. And if you're on our email list, you were actually taught, like we were actually giving you things for free that were inside and are inside Antisocial School. So that's step 1, 4 weeks of a lot of value and a lot of intentional content. Step 2 was we planned a workshop, which is happening this next week, to teach you even more. So step 1, plan ahead. Step 2, create a live event. Now, this is where I go a little off track because you've heard this before, but I personally think that webinars are kind of dead unless you're like the bigwigs of the world and you have a really big audience. And by dead, I mean no one wants to sit and listen to you teach 47 slides without some tangible action items that you can take away. We all are busy. If you sit in a workshop or a webinar or whatever you want to call it for an hour, I want you to actually have something that you learned and that you could do. So I like to do things different. I decided that instead of a webinar, I'm going to call it a workshop because I just like the name better and I want you to work. I want you to see results from attending this meeting, right? Like I want you to actually see the results and do the work while you're on the call because you're giving me your time and I want to give you something back. So if you're listening real time, you can DM me workshop and I'll send you all of the details. But the point of this is I want you to think about how you can add even more value. So we created this workshop where I'm teaching you all about networking and how to use organic networking to grow and scale your business. But the cool thing is we're actually going to do a networking event in the workshop. So not only am I teaching you and I'm giving things that you can implement right now, but then I'm going to put you in a room with other amazing women and you're going to network and you're going to walk away with an actual profitable relationship. So to me, that's worth an hour of your time, regardless of if you join Antisocial School or not, right? So I just want you to think about workshops and webinars a little bit differently. Like think about the strategy to do things differently because we're in an age of information where you can't rinse and repeat what other people do. So step 1 is plan ahead. Step 2 is over deliver with a live event. And then step 3 is pre-sell before your launch. Pre-selling basically means having conversations that you have this thing coming with people that are really important to you. So this is my favorite strategy ever, and you don't need one single technical tool to do it. So to pre-sell Antisocial School, I sent 2 emails, 2, maybe 3. I have to go back and count. It wasn't very many, to our current clients with a video. Video is like a whole nother love language of mine, but anytime you can show somebody behind the scenes or you can like see your excitement, you guys can see my excitement if you're watching this on our YouTube channel. You can see my like hands moving around. Like I love this stuff. And so I sent 2 emails to our current clients with a video, and then I followed up with real conversations, like literally me reaching out individually, having a conversation of like, hey, we have this program coming out. I think you would be a really great fit. Here's why I think it would help you. Would you be interested in learning more? Wasn't super long, wasn't like 17 emails. It was just a conversation. And we sold half the spots. The cool part is as a current client, you get some really awesome bonus sessions with me. But to me, that felt really amazing to offer because they were already in our world and I wanted to overserve. So step 3 is to pre-sell, but you can also think of this as the 80-20 rule, right? Like overserve your current community. They're already in it with you. Like, how can you make it even better for them? So right now, currently recording this, the stress of the launch is actually pretty low. I would be lying if I said it was 0, because I think anytime you put something out there, especially when I'm doing it in a way where I'm like calling attention to it, which I think felt like a really good idea when I was like brainstorming this. And now I'm like, oh, maybe it wasn't, but we'll see what happens. But I'm actually more worried about Irish dance wigs tomorrow than I am about launching, which to me is a success, right? So inside our launch, which you can now watch along live, we start with our sales page, which most people have for a launch. And then we use that sales page to create copy for emails. And then we use those emails to create copy for video content on social. So our launch can actually happen without the social content. We're using social, but as of this episode airing, it's all repurposed and scheduled, right? Which gives me time to make doctor's appointments, to be a dance mom, to celebrate the heck out of our new clients. And we leave for our big trip in 10 days. So I need to pack. There are other things that you can do besides stress about launching. And I share this because yes, there's a strategy and steps, and it's not copy and paste, right? Like it's different for everyone. But how great would it feel if you were intentional about attracting clients in a way that just felt really good to you and your business? So with that said, I hope you're following along of our launch, and I hope to see you inside Anti-Social School. You can go to hollymariehaynes.com/antisocial or just DM me antisocial. It doesn't mean that we're not social. It is really fun, and it's a really amazing way to ditch the social drama. And a couple of bonuses are, 1, our entire launch strategy playbook, which we completely redid this season, and all the done for you copy of how we did all of this is inside Anti-Social School as an epic bonus. So let me know what you think of this launch strategy. I'm so curious if you're seeing our emails and you're seeing our posts and you're seeing the things inside about Anti-Social School. Let me know what you think, and I hope this inspires you to do things differently.